555 Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
NFL's owners' meetings. Get the sense they're really not together. Minds do drift. And I'm not talking about just the tush push. I'm talking about so many other important situations. What will come out of it, we'll see. Right now, really the only thing we know is that flex scheduling will change. 28 to 21 days, Sundays to Thursdays. It's only happened, once in the last couple of years. If I was going to be a smartass, I'd sit here and say, don't worry about it. It'll have no effect on the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? When you win 4 games a year, you don't have to worry about games getting flexed. But I happen to be glass half full and believe that this is beginning to take a turn for the better. Liam Cohen met with the media today, had a lot of really interesting things to say, trying to, basically be a sponge, just learn more and more. You just heard at the top of the hour, Cohen really gushing about Gladstone, just how intelligent the 34-year-old is and how he sees and talks about things differently. Cohen's the one who said he's a lot smarter than I am. Liam is more of the X's and the O's guy. And, you just hope you put it all together and it ends up working for them. One of the major bits of conversation today was, again, about not addressing the defensive line throughout free agency. 10 players came in, 8 on the offensive side, 4 linemen, but only a couple of aging defensive backs. They'll be 30 and 31 respectively once the NFL season does get underway. And another day we move closer to the NFL draft. There's more and there's more. It's thick. You can feel it. You can almost see it. And it feels like there's been a transitional period that went from Mason Graham to a tiny bit of Ted McMillan. A tiny bit. And then all of a sudden that shifted again to Travis Hunter. The question continues to be, perhaps more than any, could he really fall to number 5? Is he going to get through either Cleveland, New York, or New England at 2, 3, and 4, right before the Jaguars at 5? I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't do it with your money, but he is absolutely the guy that I would covet. He is a can't-miss prospect as far as I am concerned. And every day that goes by, you hear more brilliant things that are written about him or actually that are said about him, but only time will tell. Are they going to be able to be in a situation where you can get them? And that's only half the battle. Because I will say this. If it was the former regime, I totally believe they'd screw it up. Even if they drafted him, they wouldn't know where to play him. And they would end up doing what is opposite of what works. Are you in agreement with that? Okay? It has felt like for the longest period of time, when you talk about Travis Hunter, he's a corner. He's a defensive back. But we're starting to see really a pretty huge turn where offensive players come into play. Or, him being a wide receiver does come into play. I'd love to see him opposite Brian Thomas Jr. I think that would be absolutely fascinating. I don't know where he is a better football player. He is so good on both sides of the ball that I think it's almost absurd to say, yeah, he's a much better cover corner than he is a wide receiver, or he's a much better wide receiver than he is a corner. So that becomes intriguing as well. Just getting him is one thing. It's coaching him up is going to be the other. And you have to believe right now that Gladstone and Cohen and Baselli, if that opportunity presents itself in 25 days, 26 days, it's and 4 Thursdays, okay? They know right now what they think is best. And we've heard about collaboration. We've heard about how this is a team effort, how they're going to agree upon everything. And if they don't agree upon it, they're going to move on. Can you imagine being at 5, having him there, ready and available, and there is a difference in opinion? Let's say 2 of them say he's a corner, and the other says, no way. This is a game-breaking wide receiver. They told us this at the initial press conference when the introduction of James Gladstone did occur, that if they can't agree, they'll move on. Think about that situation for just one moment as we do get some things started. We'll get back to the NFL's owners' meetings here in just a couple of minutes and play some sound today coming from the head coach, Liam Cohen. I think one thing that did come out of Liam Cohen's mouth earlier today that should, I don't know what word I'm looking for here. I don't know if it would be to relax you, to avoid maybe some stress when it comes to Trayvon Walker, but there's been a lot of rumor. There's been a lot of stuff out there that Walker is actually on the block. And, I've heard from anyone who's close to the team who actually does believe that. I know I had John Osher on 2 weeks ago. I have him on every Wednesday, and he said there's no truth to that. We've talked with some other people who have said, no way, that is not going to happen. I mean, you become a worse football team if you trade away Trayvon Walker. I know some people believe it could happen because look at what this organization did by saying goodbye to Christian Kirk and then Evan Ingram. Again, I'm still really surprised by the latter. I absolutely thought that Kirk would not return, but I felt as though Evan Ingram was going to be a part of this football team. Liam Cohen today has said that they've already had conversations, hour-long conversations. Didn't get too specific. I don't know if it was Liam straight up with Trayvon Walker. I don't know if Trayvon Walker has been given advice that if anyone at all tries to talk to you about an extension, please say, talk to my agency. Talk to my lawyers. I don't want to get into that. And it's totally understandable for any professional player that is why you hire an agent to do that stuff for you. And even if it was a casual conversation, that can put you in a very uncomfortable situation, right? Again, that's why you pay for that advice. You pay for that representation so you, in fact, don't have to discuss it. Now, they've apparently already talked about a contract extension. I'm going to stay with what I have said and the way that I have felt now for quite some time. You have a month. You have until May 1st to pick up the 5th-year option. Do it. Pick it up, right? You're going to pay him, $14,751,000 for the 2026 season. No question about it. He's worth it. But I also am not signing him right now to a long-term contract. I'm just not doing it. And this organization can afford to do that. They are so comfortable under the cap now. Even the 10 new players that they did bring in, it's been, for the most part, pretty cap-friendly and, pretty effective. There's been a little bit of criticism on the offensive lineman signings. I think it was ESPN and blew him up on that. Maybe the Jordan Lewis signing. But for the most part, it's been, cost-effective. They haven't gone out and broken the bank like some of these football teams have who really made a splash in free agency. No hurry, in my opinion, with Trayvon Walker. I don't know Trayvon well, but what I do know, he's not a diva. I don't think he'll be problematic. I'd be absolutely, totally surprised if we ever heard Trayvon Walker in a holdout. If we ever heard Trayvon Walker's not taking part in even voluntary workouts. I just don't think that's the way he's wired. Again, I don't want to confuse you. I'm not acting as though I know him really well, okay? It's just my understanding when it comes to when he knows the media is there, when it is covering him. personality-wise, it just doesn't feel like that would be the case. Now, all it takes, once again, is for his agency to say, we want to get this deal done. We don't want you to play year 4 under the rookie contract. We don't want you to play year 5 and settle for $14,751,000. You want a contract extension. And they may be saying, look at the money that Myles Garrett got. Look at the money that Max Crosby got. I happen to think it would be more of a deal like what Josh Sweat got out in Arizona. But, hey, he's aware of the money that Josh Hines Allen picked up. Who's worth more to this football team? Hines Allen or Walker? You saw what Hines Allen got. You know if Walker's next, he gets more. He just does. It comes later. It could come 2 years later. It could end up coming 3 years later when it's all said and done. But nonetheless, it is pretty interesting, and it was one of the many things that was said today out in Palm Beach as far as the NFL's owners' meetings. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to play some sound from that. We're also going to hear from Dave Campo, who is expected to join us coming up here in about 12 minutes. Okay, I do want to single out a tournament I played in today, the Lone Warrior Foundation. Man, it was absolutely outstanding out at Marsh Landing. What a tremendous cause, and a lot of 1010XL, 92.5 FM listeners were a part of it. I want to thank all of you. It is for parents with cancer, single parent families with cancer, and what a well-represented tournament. It's really in its infancy. They've only been around for a couple of years, but I'm very passionate about this, and I know that this tournament is going to continue to grow. And today was absolutely sensational. When I got up early and I was driving in with the fog and everything, I was like, oh boy, this could be ugly. But it wasn't. It burnt off and ended up being great. Played with Marcus Stroud and Aaron Beasley and my buddy Ed Witt of Miller Electric. Marcus Stroud buried putt after putt after putt after putt. At 6'7", it was really cool to watch, and we ended up shooting a 57. Yes, we did purchase mulligans, but it was a great round, and we raised some money today. So, again, saw a lot of good people out there, and I know this is the time of year where there's a lot of these charity golf tournaments. Everyone is good. Everyone is important, but I want to add to the list here now the Lone Warrior Foundation, and this tournament's only going to get bigger and better yearly. Today was absolutely spectacular. All right, opening comments tonight brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. And again, driving through that fog this morning, it's a good thing I have 20/20 vision because it was rough. If you were heading towards the beach, you saw that earlier. This is a difficult time of year, especially if you have allergies, right? Pollen is all over the place. Your eyes may be, itchy. There may be some redness. Who knows what it could be? Set up an appointment today. Don't continue to delay this. It certainly is and can be problematic. So check in with Dr. Neil Shmunez and Dr. Catherine Shmunez and Dr. John Hunt. They'll tell you exactly what it is that you have, whether it's an allergy or it's something else. Now, you may be a candidate for laser eye surgery. That's 20/20 for the rest of your life. Imagine how cool that would end up being. Significant problems as far as your eyes, including refractive surgery, cataract surgery, where you're talking about more than 30 years worth of experience when you get to Shmunez Vision. So set up an appointment today. Just go to Shmunez Vision online. You can also check them out on Instagram at Shmunez Vision as well and get all of the testimonials. All right, a little bit later on the show, we'll talk about Florida and their come from behind win. Did they just tool with Texas Tech? I mean, that was insane what we actually did witness. And 2 games in a row, Florida wins by taking advantage of missed free throws. Their own a ball game ago, and then Texas Tech's missed free throws on Saturday evening, making the huge three-pointers, but you're down 75-66. And then it was just like, watch this. We will do whatever we want to do. And Texas Tech doesn't have a prayer. It was something to actually watch that come from behind victory. Florida now obviously has Auburn. We're down to the Final Four, all top seeds. Chalk has been the absolute master of the 2025 college basketball tournament, and that does include the Florida Gators. So we have a ton to do right here on this Monday edition. Let's kick it off with the coach. I've yet to talk with Dave Campo since the Jaguars have announced Liam Cohen or James Gladstone. Let's get the latest from Dave Campo as he goes into the night.
Let's hear your story.
Dan Hicken.
Chicks dig me because,
well, I have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Mornings on the Drill.
Eat your heart out.
On 1010XL.
he's had a lot of near success.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Jacksonville's summer heat is coming in fast. Is your AC ready to handle it? Or will it quit on you on the hottest day of the year, leaving you sweating and stuck with a huge repair bill? Duck Air Conditioning is here to save the day with a free AC system inspection. Our expert techs will make recommendations to ensure your AC system is running in tip-top shape before the heat arrives. Call now, 904-862-6769. Duck Air Conditioning, duckac.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Soccer continues to grow on the First Coast, and so does the need for better coverage. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley
on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour, Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080. Tired of supermarket produce that's traveled thousands of miles before you get it? Treat your family to farm fresh, Florida-grown fruits and veggies delivered right to your home with Doorbell Farms. No supply chain issues or questionable origins, just seasonal produce handpicked from local farmers. Subscribe monthly and enjoy the best local farm produce delivered right to you. Sign up now at doorbellfarms.com, connecting real people to real family farms. Doorbellfarms.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power Charge that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Jags fans, here's your chance to score a trip to Green Bay for round 1 of draft night. Through the Everbank Draft Night Experience Sweepstakes, one lucky winner and a guest will be there live and in person to see the Jaguars make their first pick. To enter, visit everbank.com/draft by April 4th. That's everbank.com/draft. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry period from 3/3/25 to 4/4/25. For official rules, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/draft. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Tonight's show brought to you by the Miller Electric Company. My goodness, enjoyed a round of golf today with Ed Witt of Miller Electric. Aaron Beasley and Marcus Stroud were part of our foursome. But Miller Electric, 96 years, they've been a staple right here in Jacksonville. They're hiring now. No matter where you drive throughout our city, you see that there's more and more building. Everyone wants to move to Duval. No matter what the situation is, Miller Electric is going to be there. They take on the biggest projects in the city. They offer you a chance to showcase your skills on the grand scale. They also believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture. If you want to work with those folks, go to Miller Careers. That's Miller Careers, the great folks over at Miller Electric Company. Speaking of great folks, let's bring in the coach, Dave Campo. It's been a little while. I can't believe I haven't had the opportunity to break some bread with Dave Campo since the Jaguars have made all of these changes. But he joins us right now, and he goes into the night with Rick Ballou. Dave, I hope you're well.
Hey, I'm doing good, Rick. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing outstanding. All right, I know it's been a little bit of time, but a 34-year-old general manager, a first-time head coach, the most successful player in franchise history, Tony Baselli, goes upstairs now. Just your overall thoughts on what this franchise has done to try to change everything with the team.
Well, number one, I think, it remains to be seen. Obviously, we don't know how things are going to go, but the one thing I'm excited about is that I think it really needed some energy infused into this whole operation. And I think what they've done with going the young route with not only the general manager, but the head coach, a bunch of the assistants, I think it infuses energy into the building, and I think that's number one. And I think they're going to do the same thing with the draft. They brought in some free agent guys, I think, to really give them a chance to make good decisions in the draft. And they're going to really, obviously they want to win this year because I think they feel like the roster in key spots has a chance to give them an opportunity to win. But in really, they're looking to 2-3 years with this next 2 draft picks.
Yeah.
Or draft coming up.
I think, and you and I have had this conversation for quite some time, but what I enjoyed most separately with both Liam Cohen and James Gladstone is how they both really addressed their opinion on the offensive line. And, it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like coach speak. It felt genuine that they both believe that an organization starts with a great offensive line, and they're well aware of the fact that changes needed to be made in that position group.
Yeah, no question about it. And I think what they did, obviously, they knew Morris was going to retire. They knew Sheriff was not going to be there. What they did was they got some guys with some experience to where they're guys that fit what they're looking for, and that's the toughness, the physicalness. I think Baselli probably had a big, look at that operation, and they brought in guys that know his offense. With the center, for example, Hainsey, even though he was beaten out by a young guy, at the same time he's had 2 years of starting, and plus, he made it very clear all you had to do was watch the game that he played last year, that he's their type of guy. So they then bring in Johnson and Abuka. Those guys are guys that give them some depth. And, I think they know that it gives them an opportunity to take who's available, the best available in the draft.
Yeah, and maybe there's some competition, but Dave, this is what's fascinating, and this has changed more even from the days where you were a head coach in Dallas. We almost never see hitting anymore. And, Liam Cohen made a huge deal last year about the scheme that they wanted to run in Tampa, but then once they began to hit, they were forced to change their offensive scheme. How hard is it with that aspect, since they'll do some one-on-ones, and if they practice with a team, sure, but they don't hit the way they used to?
Well, I think the biggest thing is I think it shows you what kind of a guy you've got lead this team. I think he's a guy that's, willing to make changes and willing to look at what he's got and fit his people to what he's got. And I think that he found out, in my opinion, that running the football was really important. And, a lot of these offensive guys, all they want to do is throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But in this league, you have to be able to run the football. And especially in my mind with Trevor Lawrence, you need to take a little pressure off him and allow him to use the play action, use some things that way. Plus the fact I think that they wanted to firm up that interior a little bit with some physical, tough guys to allow him to step up in the pocket a little bit. And I think that's the direction he goes. Obviously, first of all, you made it very clear when you said that you can't hit as much, so you've got to get some guys that are inherently tough. And I think the guys that they brought in have that trait.
Dave Campbell, our guest, joins Rick Ballou as we go into the night here on your home of the Jags, 92.5 FM. This is a huge year for Trevor Lawrence. And, just again, it's a totally new system. I'm sure with his intelligence, he'll be able to learn it quickly. But, you'd like to settle in with this guy and have some consistency with the same coaches and the same scheme. But for him, that is going to change once again. That'll be the fourth different one in 5 years.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, there's no question about it. You look for consistency. You look for, and I think that's what they're, in their mind, this isn't a one-year deal for him either. I mean, he's got a number of years left in that contract, and I think they're going to build from front to back. And, their whole premise is that he's going to get better, the team's going to get better. And I always go by we had Warren Moon on one of the radio shows I do with 1010XL, and he obviously said that the quarterback position is the most important position in all of any team sport, but it's also the most reliant.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he understands that he had to firm up some things in order to help him, and I think that's what they're doing, and that's what they're going to do.
Dave, what do you have the Jaguars doing at number 5?
You know what? Listen, I'm a defensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on what happens in the first 4. I'm a defensive coach, and I like Mason Graham a lot. I think he's a guy that he's an ex-wrestler. He's got outstanding ability to change direction, to use his hands, to get off blocks, instincts, all those kind of things. I think he's somebody that gives them a guy there that has potential to be a Pro Bowl, all-pro type of a guy. But at the same time, there are 2 guys, Hunter and Carter, that if they're there, you have to run up with the ticket.
Yeah.
Because they're special guys. Now, that depends on how the quarterbacks go, who comes up. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if somebody came up to try to get a quarterback at number 5. That may change the thinking. But in my mind, I'm going with that first pick. I'm going with a defensive guy.
You know, Anthony Campanile has learned from some great ones. Vic Fangio, who didn't even blitz in 42 dropbacks by Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Brian Flores, last couple of years in Green Bay. We have a real good understanding what they're going to do offensively. Still trying to figure out what they're going to do on the defensive side of the football field. What type of defense do you think they're going to run, Dave?
Well, I think, just looking at them, and I know Hafley, the coach that Campanile was with.
Mm-hmm.
I know Flores. I know Fangio. They're all a little bit different. And I think when you watch his defense play, he's a little bit different. I think they're going to be a zone principal football team, and that's why I think they'll go for some defensive players to put some pressure on that quarterback. But to me, the thing I saw from them is that they're a conservative to a Fangio extent, except when they blitz, they got home. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think he will blitz enough to where he obviously understands protections. And that's what I saw out of Green Bay's defense. And again, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that, number one, he's a very excitable guy. I think he's going to bring that to the table. I think he's going to be one of those guys that can fit his people. That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, Dave, last one for you. And we know you're a defensive coach. But if you get Travis Hunter at 5, what side of the football are you playing him on?
You know what? I think I'm playing him on defense. I'm playing him at corner. And I'm going to put a package together for him on offense. Yeah. I look at him very similar to Deion Sanders, who was his coach out there. And I had Deion, and I think that the one thing about it is that you can put a package together that gets him the football. And when he's got the ball in his hands, I'm all for getting guys that can score points. So, you say, well, why don't you play him at receiver? Well, because if you play him at receiver, that's all he's playing. And I think you're getting a two-tiered guy with him, both sides of the football. And I think you take advantage of that in that situation. And to me, he can touch. Deion has the record for the most times of touchdowns, points, based on how many times he touched the football.
Yeah.
And that's both on offense and defense and returns.
Right.
So I think that's the kind of guy you're getting. I don't want to compare him necessarily, but I see the same traits.
Hey, Dave, you got connections. Get us to Yankee Stadium, and you and I will take some BP with those torpedo bats.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. We had, I had Aaron Boone on the primetime show.
Yep.
And, I wish they'd have had the torpedo bats ahead of time because I'd have brought it up for sure. Analytics are the new norm. And, listen, to get that many home runs in 3 games,
nuts.
I think a lot of people are going to be using those bats.
No doubt. Hey, Dave, always a lot of fun. Thank you. I know we'll do it again soon.
Hey, I appreciate it. Listen, I got to ask you one thing. Can Stroud hit the golf ball as well as he hit other people?
Oh, my God. Just crushes it, and he's so disciplined. But he rolled in at least 5 putts today that were 15 to 20 feet long.
Well, that's what these ex-NFL guys that got a lot of money, they can play a lot of golf.
We had a blast out there, yeah, but he was a lot of fun to play with today. And I play a lot of golf with Aaron Beasley. He's a real good golfer himself, and we had a blast today.
That's a good group. Hey, listen, I'll let you go, but, hey, appreciate you having me on.
All right, Dave, thank you. There he goes, Dave Campo. Always a blast. And I don't know if I've told you this before, Dylan, but and I was joking with Hacker about it last week when he came on here and the Gators had a game. In 2003 and 2004, when I was working in Chicago, I was on the air when the Red Sox were playing in the American League Championship Series against the Yankees, and then a year later when they finally won the World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. But that 12-inning game when Tim Wakefield gave up the home run to Aaron Boone and trying to do a radio show under those set of circumstances just let me tell you, it is brutal. It is so hard to try to stay focused. Because we'll be like doing something and all of a sudden, like one of my producers will be in my ear, like, it's a final. Phoenix knocked off Los Angeles 118-114. We have Cedric Sabalas on, who had 17 points and 10 rebounds. Olden Polynice joins us, and it's like you're trying to, like, because it's a national thing that you're doing, but all your focus is on this game. Well, anyway, we owned stations in Miami, Boston, New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. And the L.A. station was AM 1540, the home of the Trojans. And I went back every year for USC, UCLA, and there was this New York guy who was a salesman in L.A. who was a really good guy, but he was messing with me. And he tapped me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Rick, I want you to meet my buddy." And I'm like, "What?" And it was Aaron Boone, because Aaron Boone played his college baseball at USC.
Wow, that's awesome.
No, it wasn't awesome, man. It was like one of the worst feelings of all time.
I can only imagine. I mean, the Red Sox at that time, it's one thing to, like, Florida, they were just, in the Elite Eight, having a chance to go to the Final Four for the first time in 10 years. And, if you're a fan, your heart's beating and, you have the adrenaline. But the Red Sox, they hadn't done that in entire, 3 generations?
Oh, my God.
I couldn't imagine.
It was 86 years. And my producers, Tony DiGiacomo, Joey DiGiacomo, and Dominic Giacchiro, are lifelong Cubs fans. That was the same year that the Bartman era took place, and they blew that game. So the Cubs fans were absolutely devastated, and, of course, the Red Sox fans were. But, hey, they both have won World Series since. As a matter of fact, the Red Sox have won 4 World Series. They're not off to a good start this year, though. They won on opening day. They've lost 4 in a row. So how about the Braves? They haven't won a ball game yet either.
No, 1 hit last night, and then he hit into a double play. So their whole entire pitching staff saw 27 up, 27 down pretty much.
Braves get the Dodgers tonight in Chavez Ravine. First pitch, 10:10 our time. Again, that's coming up in about 3.5 hours. All right, when we come back, let's get you involved with the program. 641-1010 is your best bet. That is the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can get us on YouTube tonight. That is Ballou 1010XL. That's actually on Twitter, excuse me. YouTube is 1010XL into the night. We got plenty to get to, including some comments coming up from Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen, who met with the media today at the NFL's owners' meetings in Palm Beach.
There are 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, and Jags football.
To the 5, into the end zone, touchdown!
Jaguar football lives here. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Yo, E.T. here, and Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar, Twin Peaks. Scratch kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge. Come on, somebody.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass. He told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 31st, 1961, Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr scores his 3rd career hat trick, becoming the first player in NHL history to score 100 points for 4 straight seasons.
Looking for an engagement ring in Jacksonville? Here's a pop quiz. Which Jacksonville jeweler cuts out the middleman and guarantees the lowest price on any diamond?
I'm thinking it's...
No, it's Beard's Diamonds. Question 2. Which jeweler in the town center has thousands of designer engagement rings and a multi-million-dollar diamond inventory?
I'm going to say...
No, it's Beard's Diamonds. Question 3. Which jeweler in Jacksonville offers an unbiased diamond education, a lifetime upgrade, and free maintenance for life?
How about
Dude, you should have learned by now it's Beard's Diamonds. Final question. Which jewelry store in Jacksonville hasn't been sold a few times and is currently not owned by a national conglomerate?
Beard's Diamonds?
Ding, ding, ding. Now you're getting it. Beard's Diamonds guarantees a better selection, an unbeatable price, superior warranties with no corporate rule books, no commission salespeople, and no chain store atmosphere. Beard's Diamonds, Jacksonville's jeweler. St. John's Town Center.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Frank Reich's back in the game. Interim head coach at Stanford. Andrew Luck with the firing last week and the hiring today. Stanford. Pretty rare to have a coaching change this time of year, but that is the case for the Stanford Cardinals. All right, well, you must have been freaking out Saturday night watching that game.
I thought we were done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're down 9. You couldn't stop them going inside the paint over and over and over again. And they never doubled them, although they said they were going to make the adjustment with 4 minutes left in the game. And, I thought Florida was going to lose that game.
My GF went to Texas Tech, and they missed those 4 free throws early, and I'm like, you've got to make your free throws. And what Florida ended up going, 19 to 21?
Yeah, they were like
the free throw line.
95%. Yep.
And I mean, you have to make them in a game. And Florida benefited from missing their own to get to the Sweet 16. And then, obviously, Texas Tech kept missing them late, and Florida would just turn around and bury a field goal. And often cases, that three-pointer. That three-pointer that Clayton Jr. took was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. To come out from the key, to come out from the paint and just turn around and hoist a three was scary.
Yeah, Thomas Howell, too. I mean, he's not getting enough credit for, one, getting the offensive rebound and then starting the run with his 2 threes and the Walter Clayton. I mean, Texas Tech had the opportunity to close the door, and when you know, Walter Clayton's one of the best players in the nation. If you didn't know, you know now. And, you can't let someone that's that great have the ability to let them come back in the game, and they did. And as I say, the rest is history.
No fear. And that's what's great if you're a Florida fan right now, is you know that you can be down by 10 points with 3 minutes to go, and they are absolutely unrattled. I mean, what they were able to do in that situation just totally freaked me out. It looked like they were playing schoolyard basketball where they had so much confidence taking those shots, and they were, taking advantage of missed free throws. They were grabbing their own offensive rebounds when you needed to in that situation. It was a huge win. We'll find out what goes on now. A lot of people think Auburn's going to win that game. Florida's, a 2.5-point favorite against the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, it's moving around 2.5 to 3, which is kind of weird. It opened 2.5 and it went 3 right away.
Yep.
So we'll see.
And they played in the regular season, right? Didn't Auburn win?
No, Florida played at Auburn, and Florida beat them by like 15 or 19. They beat them pretty good. Big second-half run.
All right, 4 number 1 seeds. Florida favored by 2.5 or 3. Your total 160.5. Then Houston and Duke. That'd be, 2 teams from the SEC. And Duke as well, playing some pretty good basketball. They're a 5.5-point favorite. 136.5 is the total there. So that'll be Saturday night, and we'll talk an awful lot about the Final Four coming up this weekend. No question about that. All right, let's get to Liam Cohen, because I want to share some things that he said today during the NFL's owners' meetings. Want to do a couple of right here until the top of the hour, and also begin our second hour with Liam Cohen. And again, give you an opportunity to get involved. Your best bet is to go to our text line, which is 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Well, let's go to number 8 to get things started here, Dylan. Liam Cohen, I thought it was a good question that he was asked today about being an offensive coordinator in the NFL to now becoming the head coach.
Man, I just got asked that question. It's a really good one. No, it's a great one. I really do, because you're as an OC, you're managing, 10 coaches, players, a little bit of staffing, but not, that's basically about it. Now, there's other parts to it, and it keeps adding up, right, with defense, special teams, a little bit of the situations outside, but that's the beautiful way of how we structured this with myself, James, Tony Baselli. I'm able to truly focus on the staff. That's it. I'll keep the main thing. I'm a football coach. James does personnel. Tony's able to help with so much of the support staff and communication. So, yeah, the time is doubled. I haven't done a lot of ball, but it's been really cool. I think with the players coming in soon, be able to do a little bit more. But it's a normal day right now. Starts with about 6 a.m. They have a schedule for me every day, and then I go in with James for the rest of the day. So that's where we've been at right now.
Sounds like a long day. Sounds like a lot of effort, which, I don't want to say there was an effort with the former regime. It certainly looked tired. It felt tired. It felt old, right? And I think there was a sense of checking out, certainly once the regular season began to unwind. I didn't sense any of that, though, this time of year. I didn't think that last year at the NFL's owners' meetings, or last year at the NFL Combine, or last year when we talked with Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson, a week before the NFL draft. But it began to really head that way. So I think that's been one of the, the big situations within this football team is to not only bring in, new blood, but also new energy. Someone asked me last week on Friday, I was having some fun saying what a great weekend, how great it is right now to be a Gator, how great it is right now to be a Jaguar. And someone's like, what's great about being a Jaguar right now? And I'm like, I'll tell you what's great about being a Jaguar right now. You guys won 4 football games, and no one's acting like you did. People are acting like you won 9 or 10 games. I mean, you don't see doom and gloom with Jaguars fans. This isn't a typical attitude after having a really bad season. It's like you let that bad boy go, and, your focus instead is on the future. And I think that's cool in a world of fandom. I mean, fans all come back. They do. It takes a little bit of time. Some fan bases longer than others. Heck, I got Florida State fans that are already telling me they're on the cusp of coming back. It's not even April 1st yet. And I just sit there and I listen to them, and my head begins to move a little bit, kind of like a dog. When you talk to a dog and you're trying to figure out what that dog's thinking. Florida State fans talk to me, and my head just begins to swivel. And I'm like, what? What are you saying? I'm like, the coach is beginning his 6th year, and there's not a Florida State fan alive who knows if this coach can coach. Okay? 6 years. You don't know. I don't know. You don't know. No one knows. And you're going into your 6th, not your 6th game, your 6th year. And you do not know if this guy can coach. Yet, they're starting to come back. Tell me they're going to whoop up some of that ass on Alabama on opening day. They're going to whoop up, and I'm just like, okay. Blue, you going to that game? No, I'm good. I don't need to go over to God's country to watch Alabama kick the living snot out of Florida State. I'm good. But if you're beginning to come around, okay, hey, all the power to you. Let's get ready for hour number 2. Much more coming up from Liam Cohen, the head coach of the Jaguars. Again, he did meet with the media today, earlier at the NFL's owners' meetings.
Dr. Burton tells me you know who Batman is. I can't tell you if you don't say please. Please. Who is Batman?
I'm Batman. Factoid. 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Ballou here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back on the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
All right, Ballou here. Let's get real for a minute. Losing weight isn't exactly easy, especially when you live the life that I've been living, surrounded by good food at every event that happened again today on the golf course. Believe me, I get it. But thanks to Awaken 180, I'm already down 10 pounds, feeling sharper, more energized, never hungry. This isn't some juice diet or starving yourself nonsense. I'm eating food that tastes great, even when I'm out on the road. Here's the beauty. Awaken 180 gives you the game plan to handle real-life situations. I've been hitting plenty of events lately, temptation everywhere, and I've managed to stay on track effortlessly. So that's huge. 10 pounds, energy up, hunger totally controlled. If you're tired of carrying around extra weight, tired of diets that don't work, join me, Hacker, Dempsey, and Hayes, basically everyone, and just go to awakening180weightloss.com.
Are you an experienced chiller technician and looking for a role where your skills are truly valued? It's time to make the move to Local 234, plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. You'll get top pay, comprehensive health and welfare benefits for your family, and a pension that doesn't come out of your pocket. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Electrical problems? Call American Electrical Contracting. 737-7770. Small jobs or large, they do them all. Work with a locally owned and operated company that will wire it right at a fair price. It's not just a slogan, it's the way they do business.
AA Automotive helps keep your vehicle in dependable and safe condition. Call Sam, Harry, or Joe, and they'll check your brakes, tires, fluids, electric, and motor, so your ride runs smooth on the road. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street.
Mia here, and let me tell you about one of our area's best resorts, the Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa. The Sawgrass Marriott is not only a great destination for a vacation, but it is also a great destination for dining on the Florida's first coast. 1912 Ocean Bar and Rooftop is now open on Ponte Vedra Boulevard, featuring Ponte Vedra's only oceanfront rooftop bar and lounge. Serving finely crafted cocktails and delectable eats, it's open daily from 4 to 10 with complimentary valet parking.
Every morning that you wake up in a pest-free home is a good morning. And with Florida Pest Control's Pest-Free 365 service, you can. It's more than just a pest control or preventative maintenance plan. It's Florida Pest Control's promise that we'll be there providing pest-free living for your family all year long. And right now, our initial pest service is just $99. To learn more about our Pest-Free 365 service and to schedule your $99 initial pest service, visit flapest.com today.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts, sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
What Major League Baseball team has never been to a World Series? The answer next.
Southern Oak Insurance is proud to continue offering coverage statewide. Financial stability makes Southern Oak Insurance a wise choice for your homeowner's insurance needs. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The Seattle Mariners, who were founded in 1977, have never been to the World Series.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
E.T. here, and spring in Clay County means one thing: the award-winning Clay County Fair. It's more than just rides and a concert, it's an experience. Savor the flavors of classic fair treats, explore family-friendly attractions, and enjoy a perfect mix of small-town charm and big-time fun. Plan your trip with Explore Clay County Tourism and turn your visit into a getaway. Find the best places to stay, eat, and explore at exploreclay.com. And don't forget to share your fair adventures with #ExploreClay.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jimmy Haslam popped off today, co-owner of the Cleveland Browns. Called the Deshaun Watson mess a big swing and a miss. It is arguably the worst trade in the history of anything that is team athletics. I mean, you gave up 3 first-round picks and gave Watson $230 million guaranteed, and they've given up on him. I don't even know what would be close. I mean, the Herschel Walker trade, and that totally changed things around for Dallas. You know, all the draft capital they got was out of this world. I'm trying to remember what the Ricky Williams deal was in New Orleans. That was pretty violent as well.
Well, on draft day?
Yeah.
They gave up every draft pick they had that year.
Mike Ditka has said, give me. A lot of people forget Mike Ditka was actually the coach of the Saints. But Ricky Williams at least was productive for a little bit. Herschel Walker still had a little something left in the tank when he went to Minnesota. Deshaun Watson did nothing. I mean, how many games has he won in Cleveland as a starting quarterback? Like 3? Something crazy like that. But, $230 million. So he just admitted to that today. A little bit surprised that actually came out. Maybe he had a bad night out in Palm Beach and just wanted to get something off his chest. The big deal there is the tush push. A lot of teams support it. A lot of teams are like, if you can't defend it, tough. They're going to need 24 of those 32 votes in order to get rid of it. To me, it's another gimmick, and I'm totally removed from any gimmicks in the NFL. That includes a new kickoff rule. I don't even like it when they push back the PATs. To me, I would have left the point after attempt right there by the goal line, the way it was forever. But, the NFL, I just don't understand why they feel as though they need to make things a little bit more interesting. I'll never fully understand that. And then, 10 games internationally now they're talking about in 2026? I mean, it just boils my blood. There's nothing worse than going to London for a game, okay? And now you've got what? You've got Mexico City, you've got Brazil, you've got Germany. They're talking about adding all these others. And I just went on a thread today that was like they were talking about playing in Saudi Arabia or, whatever it was. And as soon as I pulled up the link, it was like the Saudi Arabia Jaguars. And it was the Jaguar. And it's just like... So whenever international games get mentioned, it doesn't matter what country, to so many people out there, the punch line remains Jacksonville, okay? And these are the things that bother me. You could say whatever you want about the team. You could say whatever you want about the coach or the player, but when you start picking on the city and you start picking on the fans... And you got guys like Rick Stroud from next door in Tampa who come over here and don't even see with all the construction, everything that's going on, that report that the stadium situation isn't settled and that this team could still move to London. The guy's been covering the NFL for like 40 years. How easy is it to just hop on the Google, do the simplest little bit of research? And you would know that there's a brand new Miller Electric Center. You would know that a 25-year, or 30-year agreement headed up by our mayor, Donna Deegan and company, has happened. It's so easy. But anyway, it just, it peeves me. It really does. One other rule that apparently has already been passed is flex scheduling. Now goes 28 to 21 days, so a shorter window there. Sunday to Thursday games. They've only done it once in the last 2 years. We'll see if that happens. And I don't think like a coach, but I respect what they go through. And when you're talking about international games, and when you're talking about flexing a schedule, okay, if you know that in 21 days you're playing Sunday at 1, then all of a sudden you get the memo and you're playing Thursday at 8. It changes everything. I know it doesn't sound like it's that big of a difference to a casual fan. And so many people will say, well, the other team has to deal with it as well. It's, yes, you're right. But it's still problematic. What you want when you're running an organization, when you're a coach, is you want to simplify things. You want to have a normal schedule. You want your roster, you want your players to be used to what you're doing. And it becomes habitual, Monday through Sunday. And when all of a sudden you're forced on the go, it's one thing to know, when the schedule comes out in the month of April, right? I believe it's April or early May We'll know in the next 4 to 5 weeks. You know what the Jaguars' schedule is as far as opponents. You don't know the dates. And you don't know whether you're playing on Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. And I guess the case of last year, it would have been what, Wednesday as well on Christmas?
Wednesday, Christmas, had games. Every day, Black Friday.
I mean, just calm down, NFL. Why are you doing this? That's where you have injuries. When you do things like this, and then you talk out of both sides of your mouth, you say, we really care. We really care about our players. Okay, well, let's get done playing on a Sunday, and we'll play again on a Wednesday. Oh, no, we're not going to do it that way. Instead, we're going to go from Thursday to Wednesday. And then you get a bye week or whatever. It's still all screwed up.
Don't you feel the Thursday night game should be permanently your division opponents? That way you're really familiar with them. You kind of know their personnel. You know the game plan usually.
I've never really thought of it that way. That does make a little bit of sense.
I mean, make it a little more easier rather than playing some, team not in your division, not in your conference.
So that wouldn't apply to this division. They would never get a Thursday night game because it's the least compatible division in pro football. The NFC South as well. Pretty poor. Anyway, you need 24 of the 32 votes in order for all of this stuff to actually take place. Some other things are going to be voted on here over the next couple of days. You can get a lot with officiating. And you're going to get a lot with the eye in the sky. You're going to get a lot with the kickoff rule change, which apparently is going to go from the 30 to the 35. And when you hear it, you're like, well, just take a touchback. Start at the 35. Think of that for a moment. The 35-yard line. I know I mentioned it last week, but seriously, just think about that for a moment. You pick up one first down. You're at midfield. How can this be good for the game? 35, first and 10 from your own 35? First down, you're at the 45. You pick up a second first down, you're already basically in field goal range with the way that these kids kick nowadays. Whatever happened to starting from the 20 and go earn it? Or the 25 and go earn it? And if they move the kickoff from the 30 to the 35, what they are going to try to do is put more emphasis on kickoffs where the ball lands instead of in the end zone where you get that touchback to the 35 where it lands, within the 5, 6, 7 yard line. So what are you saying then? Well, all of a sudden you want more returns. You want more and more returns. Isn't the reason why you changed this rule was to lessen the returns, or was the caveat, no, we still want returns. We just have the kicking team already 50 yards downfield right next to the receiving team, so there won't be that huge collision during kickoffs. They've totally ruined this part of the game. I'll ask you right now, 641-1010. Brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And you know what? If you send it to me, I'll read it. Does anyone out there like this? Does anyone out there like, man, I love the new NFL. I love this kickoff rule. I mean, it looks like you're watching arena football or something. We're talking about the NFL. We're talking about the greatest game that everyone loves. Ratings, attendance, every single dimension. It blows everything else out. And they've done this to the kickoff? And now they're going to say to NFL fans, first and 10 at your own 35-yard line? It's enough to make me want to puke. Really. I mean, come on. And don't even get me started. You know what it's going to come now? Probably not this year. But you know what's going to come next year, Dylan?
What's that?
Instead of the onside kick.
Oh, I know where you're going.
4th and 15.
4th and 12.
Okay. Again, it's so stupid. just imagine you're up by 10, and there's 8 minutes to go, and your opponent, let's say Houston, puts together a 10-play drive. They go 75 yards. They take 6.5 minutes off the clock. They're now down by a field goal. Jacksonville's defense is exhausted. They were just out there for a 10-play, 6.5-minute drive. And now you're going to give the ball back to Houston and say it's 4th and 15 and they have an opportunity to stay on offense if they're able to make the first down. And there are people, there are fans, there are people listening right now that are like, yeah, I kind of like that idea. Yeah, what is happening to our game?
Well, I'll give you one. It happened during the Super Bowl when the Chiefs scored late in the third quarter, and they didn't have the opportunity to even try an onside kick because it was in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And you can only do it in the fourth quarter.
They're going to change that this year as well. You're going to have to announce that you're kicking an onside kick, but that is going to be a part of the kick rule change as well.
Yeah, and I mean, they weren't even given the opportunity. I mean, not that it would have mattered in the game, but, you couldn't even try the onside kick with 2 minutes left. It would have been better for them to take a knee, let the fourth quarter start, then score, and then try at least get an onside to get the ball back.
I understand being rogue, and I understand being different, and I understand a little spice. But I just cannot believe that true lifelong NFL fans would support that 4th down scenario that I just gave you. That is beyond shocking to me. Now, I could have drummed it up a different way and begged for support by saying, imagine the Jaguars are down by 10. Trevor Lawrence leads a 10-play, 75-yard drive. It takes 6 minutes and 36 seconds off the clock. You got 1:30 to go, and guess what? Houston's defense is exhausted. Trevor and the Jags come back out. It's 4th and 15. If they pick up the first down, they stay with the ball, and they have a chance to tie or to win it. So if I describe it that way, you might be, yeah. But come on. That's Bush League football. And these owners, man, so many of them seem to be like, yeah, let's listen to it. So, I mean, this game, this great game, is changing right in front of our eyes. You really want to change the game? Get rid of the freaking kicker. You have these gladiators play for 59 minutes and 59 seconds, and you have it won by a 155-pound kicker. No. You want to change the game? There you go. Guy runs a 4.5 40. The guy puts up the 225-pound barbell 36 times. Here he comes. 5'4", 130 pounds, but he's got a leg from here to Georgia with the game on the line. You think they'd look at that? Living and dying by field goals are the absolute worst. I don't care if it's college or pro. All right, let's come back and get you involved. 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also tonight on YouTube, Into the Night. Just go to 1010XL Into the Night. And on Twitter, Ballou 1010XL. Let's hear more from Liam Cohen. We've only played one soundbite so far. He's got a lot of good ones. We'll hit some of those as well as we continue.
Serving one of the fastest growing cities in America.
It don't get no better than this.
I guess it's no longer a best kept secret. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache, Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
St. Johns County parents, does your kid have energy to burn? Want them to play a sport for their middle school? Sign up today for the St. John's Middle School Athletic Association. Spring pickleball, tackle football, dance, and cheerleading. Who doesn't want their kid to be the next NFL quarterback or dance floor diva? Hurry, time is running out. March is almost over. You know how fast your kid can go from playing Xbox to practicing their touchdown dance or sideline cheer? Sign up at sjmsaa.org. sjmsaa.org.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On March 31st, 1961, Boston Bruins defenseman Bobby Orr scores his third career hat trick, becoming the first player in NHL history to score 100 points for 4 straight seasons.
Guys, want a golf course fairway quality lawn? TopDressing.com just landed in Jacksonville with the golf course secret for St. Augustine grass homeowners. A patented process that aerates and turns your turf into a fairway stunner. Serious golf course technology, but in your yard. Less water, tighter cuts, total neighborhood domination. No one else scores a perfect 10 lawn. Hit TopDressing.com now. You will own the block. Top dress your yard like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Is your backyard ready for the big leagues? Pick it here for Surfside Pools. Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, they have the home field advantage. Family owned and operated, offering weekly pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools make your backyard dreams a reality. Are you ready to float happy? Visit SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, your hometown MVP.
License number CPC 044080.
Living on Amelia Island? Having fun in Bernardino Beach? No matter what brings you to the fun, cozy town, make sure you check out the tap room at Mocama Beer Company. With a full flight of craft creations, from the Cosmico IPA to the Motor, the perfect Pilsners and lagers, matching memories and some Mocama magic is what it's all about. Mocama Beer Company in Bernardino Beach, near the big water where the sun is born. And look for more Mocama craft at your local Total Wine or ABC Liquors.
Tired of supermarket produce that's traveled thousands of miles before you get it? Treat your family to farm-fresh, Florida-grown fruits and veggies delivered right to your home with Doorbell Farms. No supply chain issues or questionable origins, just seasonal produce handpicked from local farmers. Subscribe monthly and enjoy the best local farm produce delivered right to you. Sign up now at doorbellfarms.com, connecting real people to real family farms. Doorbellfarms.com.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
It's game time for your business, and Advanced Business Solutions has the winning play. With Xerox copiers, you'll never miss a deadline. Fast, reliable, and built for high performance, Xerox copiers keep your team ahead of the competition. From printing to scanning, Xerox brings the MVPs of efficiency to your office. Ready to make the winning move? Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions. Veteran owned.
Printers, copiers, and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There's some good stuff coming in on kickers. Kickers are people, too. Every year during the summer, I have one of those shows where if you could change one thing in the NFL, if you could change one thing in college football, what would you change? For me, forever in college football, it's been the same for probably the last 25 years. I hate the rule where if you slip and fall, that's where the ball is. I've never understood why in the college game you can't get up. Right? In the NFL game, if you slip and you fall, whatever, you can get right up and keep on running. Not the college game. I think in the NFL, if I could change one rule, it would be wipe out what we're doing right now with kickoffs. It's just, it hasn't ruined the game because the game is still incredibly popular. But it would be even better if you had that element. The kick return has an opportunity to be the most exciting play in football. It's the punt return now. But, go ask your dad, go ask your mom about football in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. The kick return was awesome. I mean, it's a tone setter. And I just feel, I always look at it from the fan's perspective. And I just can't imagine how fired up you get. You're drowning beers. You're so fired up. It's the opening kickoff. Everyone is standing and yelling, and it's a touchback. There's such an opportunity for an explosion, for a big hit, for an excitement. And now, touchback, 1st and 10. Who knows where they're going to put the ball? They should put the ball at the 20. They're talking about putting it at the 35-yard line. All right, enough of this. Let's get back to let's get to Liam Cohen. Let's do that a little bit. Let's get to 18 here. Talking about Trevor, they've had some dinners. They've gone to, they've gone out and they've been social. They've been talking an awful lot about what's next. As for Trevor, whether it was Darrell Bevel, Doug Peterson, or Press Taylor, it's now Liam Cohen. Trevor Lawrence is going to begin his 5th year, and he is going to have a 4th different play caller. Liam Cohen today on his quarterback.
We've had some really good conversations, not being able to work with him quite yet, but we went out to dinner a few times, and I saw the vision, talked to a guy that I know right off the bat is physically and mentally tough. Like, I believe that about him. And so that's how I'm excited to work with him about it. He's open. He just wants to play at the highest level as he can. He wants to accept as much coaching, wants to be coached hard, and he wants to do well. So those are the great conversations that he's open, he wants to work, and he's been willing to work. Really excited about those going forward.
I don't think anyone's ever questioned the toughness of Trevor Lawrence, mentally or physically. I don't think anyone has ever questioned his work ethic. It's always been very solid. It's simply results. The NFL is a results-based business, and he has to take that next step. And you want to begin to see that happen this year. And I think there's a lot of confidence that could happen. All right? I'm still really surprised it didn't work with McCoy, Taylor, and Peterson. I am. And maybe Jim Bob Cooter leaving had a little something to do with it. I thought that was the right staff for a young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And, apparently it was anything but. And we just watched it dissolve. Right now, all the right things are being said. How can they not? That should have been the talking point of getting the job. That was my point the entire offseason. Liam Cohen or anyone else, walk into Shad Khan's office or tell him straight up, give me the keys to Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to make this guy a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Hopefully that's the coach they hired. right? It wasn't any of this, oh, man, what's going on? He's tentative. Oh, man, he throws the ball like J.R. Richard to running backs from 5 yards away. No. I'm hoping Liam Cohen was like, give me the keys, man. I'll drive. Watch this. Watch what I'm going to do with Trevor Lawrence. This guy's got God-given skill. He just needs the right support cast around him, including coaching. We'll see. Let's get to 22 because this has been the biggest conversation piece really since the end of the regular season, right? We know that Hines Allen, we know that Walker both did a better than average job getting to the quarterback. Outside of that, it was absolutely awful. Nothing would back up edge, and the interior defensive line was just terrible when it came to a push. 10 free agents have been added. 8 of them offensive, 4 on the line. Only 2 on the defensive side, both in the secondary. So, Liam Cohen, what about addressing the defensive line in the NFL draft?
Yeah, I think ultimately you're looking to add some competition in there. We've got some really good players down there. I think, we've got 3 first-rounders, right, on our defensive line currently. So 3 guys that are going to have some good years, hopefully. They're hoping, elevate that room, and we'll continue to evaluate it. But, yeah, absolutely, you're looking to add definitely somebody to the D-line, however that thing plays out inside or outside.
3 first-rounders. How about a second-rounder who was a healthy scratch a year ago in Mason Smith? Probably want to play him. I guess some of it was on Mason. The confidence level right now in Armstead is way, way, way down. I think it's a chance there. I'd be a fool not to. I do. I mean, there's some professionalism involved. I think it's a gut check time for him. I'm sure he's probably ashamed about what he showed a year ago. I imagine he's got an outlet, and I imagine it's excuse-filled that he was not being used properly. Ryan Nielsen did not get the best of his ability. Okay? Again, I'm sure there's plenty of clout internally to support Eric Armstead. Bottom line, he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. Am I willing to bet that he gets that much better in a year? Maybe a small amount of money. If I was doing it right now, I would say I do think he's going to respond. But, how great will that progress actually be? For how many games is he going to give it to you? Devon Hamilton, Devon Hamilton's a camp guy. Every year at the Miller Electric Center, I'm raving about Devon Hamilton. 2 years ago, before the back injury, he was the best defensive lineman out there. And even last year, he had a good August, late July and August. I just don't know anymore. I mean, the tape doesn't lie. And apparently, this new brass is deep into the tape. And they've gone back and forth, which is encouraging. And obviously, they've cut some players, including Ingram and Kirk, that I don't think we all saw. 58-15, Ballou. If Hunter's available at 5, can this organization not pick him? No. Absolutely no. If he is available at 5, you have to take him. You do. You don't have to take Mason Graham. You don't have to take Will Campbell. You don't have to take Tate McMillan. Abdul Carter, if he fell, all right, and then maybe that's another conversation piece. But to me, the absolute, you cannot let him go by, is Travis Hunter. And there's so many different ways to evaluate this. There's so many different ways to look at it. Here's my belief. We keep hearing that this is a really weak draft as far as special players, as far as first-round players. We've heard from a few different sources that grades in the NFL are only 6 first-rounders. All right, last week we had someone tell us 13. We also had that unbelievable report that there's not a dramatic difference this year between player number 20 and player number 80, which is just shocking to me that you're talking about 60 players that are that close. What it also means is that 20 to 60, right? I mean, you're going to have 12 first-rounders who are picked who are nowhere near first-rounders. And if there's only 13 first-round grades, then you're going to have what? 19 selected in the first round who are not of first-round grades. So I think you're going to have all sorts of teams that are going to be willing to trade down once you get past that number, whether it be 6, 13, or somewhere in between. But early on, moving up to get one of these special players, Travis Hunter has a chance to be special. I'm not saying you can't get good football players at 36 and your third-round picks and your fourth-round picks. You may get 5 starters. You may get quality players that are around here doing really good things for a long period of time. But there only appears to be a small amount of game-changing, sensational players. And if you do not take Travis Hunter and he's available at 5, then I think that's a colossal mistake. And I'm sure they've gone through that many times when they do their mock drafts. You know, they go through every situation. You know, there's got to be one where those guys are gone, and I'm sure there's going to be one where Graham and Hunter are available. And what do you do then? Here's another one. Boy, what if Graham and Hunter are gone at 5? Where do you go? I'll tell you exactly where I'd go. I go offensive line. I go the highest graded offensive lineman. Is it Will Campbell? Okay. Is it Membu? That's where I would go. I'm not going to change now. I've been telling you offense the entire offseason. Build everything around Trevor Lawrence. That's the way I look at it.
You see, Membo has the best odds to be the first offensive lineman drafted.
Not surprised.
Over Will Campbell.
He tested just incredibly, you know. Where did that one go that I wanted to bring up? It was I lost it. I get so many of these texts, man. I appreciate them all. I do. I appreciate each and every one of them, but I lost it. 78-63. I bet they did analysis starting on a 35 will increase scoring. Do we really need increased scoring? There's enough offense right now in this league. I mean, what's wrong with good defense? 98-86. Ballou, obviously they aren't at full speed as long kickoffs. They seem to be more squared up shots. Just my opinion. That hit made me cringe in my seat. Yeah, he's going back to the Tank Bigsby hit, which is a perfect example. Bigsby got knocked out. And it still can happen. I don't understand the experiment. Roger Goodell 2 years ago told you, NFL fans, that concussions actually went down as the schedule went from 16 to 17 games. He told you that. The guy makes $65 million a year. He told you that concussions went down by playing an extra game. And then the following year, when the numbers were up, he looked right at you and said, well, that's advanced technology by doctors where they can detect even the slightest concussion. That's what's nauseating, is that they don't tell the truth. And, you know, I try to jam myself up because I understand what it's all about. And again, it's always fans first, long before the players, long before the coaches, long before the owners. Players love it. Give me a 17th regular season game. That gives you an extra Sunday. Heck, before you know it, you're going to get 18 regular season games. You're getting extra wild card games now. right? Only one bye in the AFC, only one bye in the NFC. You love it. You're the consumer. You get another ball game. You get an extra week. It's what you want. And that part I understand, but don't try to cover stuff up about how you really care about CTE and how you're trying to prevent concussions. You're not. You're adding more games. You want to make more money. That's more important than the health of these players. These players are replaceable. It's incredible greed. And we all support it because we get what we want. That's more football games. But it would be nice if they, showed some integrity and a little bit of honesty and just came right out and told you, listen, here's the deal. This is the way it's going to be. More football for you. You don't like the preseason. The preseason now, I used to be okay with the preseason when it was scripted, when it was written. Now with 3 preseason games, look at what Jacksonville did last year. They were undefeated. I don't think they played against a starting quarterback. I don't think they played against the first-team offense. What are you learning if you're playing against guys who aren't going to be on the roster once the regular season begins? There's a lot of tomfoolery involved. You think you know something about your team when you really don't. And that applies for all 32 of these teams. There's no perfect, what are we going to do? And maybe there should be more of that, where it's preseason game number 1, Liam Cohen's on the phone with whoever the coach is, and it's, all right, what's your plan? Are you playing your starting quarterback? Are you playing your first-team offense? Are you playing? No. We're going to wrestle. Okay, and maybe do the same thing. And I know that stuff like that can happen when you practice with another team. It's never happened once you get into the preseason. But look what happened a year ago. You didn't take on starting competition. And your defense became the worst pass defense in the NFL, and they also couldn't stop the run. They also had, 6 interceptions? You didn't have one player with more than 1 interception? You gave Tyson Campbell all that money, and he didn't have 1 interception? Yeah. So, maybe, I can see how Doug Peterson's, Doug, probably didn't want to pick up the phone. Maybe that's the way of the future. Because we used to know with the 4 games, it was pretty set in stone when you played them and when you didn't. With the 3 games now over the last couple of years since we went to 17 regular season contests, you just don't know until toe meets leather. So maybe that's something that will take a change for the better coming up this year. All right, much more to do with you tonight till 8 o'clock. It's great to have you with us.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, bring the best sports and entertainment talk to Jacksonville. Good luck, 1010XL. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's exclusive 31-day spring event. Experience superior craftsmanship and timeless design with buy one, get one 40% off custom replacement windows and patio doors. Enjoy the ease of 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires March 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
All right, it's Ballou. Let's get real for a minute. Losing weight isn't exactly easy, especially when your life involves being surrounded by good food at every event imaginable. Believe me, I get it, but thanks to Awaken 180, I'm already down 10 pounds, feeling sharper, more energized, and never hungry. This isn't some juice diet or starving yourself nonsense. I'm eating food that tastes great, even when I'm out on the road. Here's the beauty. Awaken 180 gives you the game plan to handle real-life situations. I've been hitting plenty of events lately, temptation everywhere, and I've managed to stay on track effortlessly. That's huge. 10 pounds down, energy way up, hunger totally controlled. So if you're tired of carrying around extra weight, tired of diets that don't work, it's time to check out Awaken 180. Take it from me, Hacker Dempsey Hayes, basically everyone. It's easy. It works and it's real. Do what we did and choose the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
What was George Washington's salary when he was president?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
George Washington's annual salary as president was $25,000, about $4.5 million in today's dollars.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Get to know positions and players. The 1010XL Ultimate Draft Guide is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools, the #1 pool builder in Jacksonville. Follow rankings and roundtables as the draft takes shape. Go to 1010XL.com/2025 draft guide to get yours.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com/Duval. That's WM.com/Duval and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trying to figure pricing at most AC companies is like listening to an auctioneer.
Who wants an AC tune-up? Do I hear $3.99? How about $2.99? No, let's drop it. $79? Do we have a deal? Going once, going twice? Sold!
Not at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. We make it easy. We're offering a free AC inspection. No gimmicks, no fine print, just a completely free checkup from our highly trained techs to make sure your AC is ready for summer. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because free is better than bidding. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
Owners meetings going on in the NFL in South Florida out in Palm Beach. Liam Cohen met with the media today, had a lot of positive things to say. Most notably, they've already had discussions on a contract extension with Trayvon Walker. This will be year 4 of his rookie deal. The Jags have until May 1st to pick up the team-only 5th-year option. And that's a no-brainer. That's going to happen. It'll be good for $14,751,000. Devin Lloyd, not so much. I don't think that he is a candidate to have that 5th year picked up. Again, we're trying to figure out this defense with Anthony Campanile. Maybe Devin Lloyd could be a big part of it. I don't know. He's been misused. He's been solid. He hadn't been a first-round pick. But I think a lot of what we've witnessed with Devin Lloyd is that it feels like he just doesn't trust his football instincts. That, they have him doing some things that he probably shouldn't be doing. And that includes in coverage. That's one thing the Jaguars need to address. They need a coverage linebacker. I don't know if they have one. We keep talking about their interior defensive line and their secondary, how poor they are. I mean, their linebackers can't cover anyone. So, YouTube, Ballou, terrible take on the kicker. How are you supposed to be rewarded for having a 15-play, 99-yard drive and not get 3 points? I was being a little bit facetious there. That's from Ryan. My point is you have gladiators going after it all day, and it comes down to a kicker. Go figure. Some of the biggest games in the history of the NFL have come down to a kicker, right? Morton Anderson here, one of the biggest games in Jaguars history. Let's look at Adam Vinatieri. Some of the things that have happened. Hey, what went on with Freddie Freeman? You were telling me during the commercial break. He's out tonight for the Dodgers against the Braves?
Yeah, apparently something happened to where he, I don't know if he slipped in the shower, but he had his ankle repaired from surgery, and I guess he rolled his ankle in the shower, so he's not going to play tonight.
Wow. Baseball injuries, man. You talk about babies. And, that's certainly the case for any pitcher. You feel the slightest twinge, they put you in bubble wrap for a month. But that is baseball. Yeah, the Atlanta Braves looking for their first victory of the season. They get a late night game tonight. I know the Yankees are off after hitting 15 home runs over the weekend. All the conversations now about the torpedo bats. That's going to be pretty interesting to see what actually does take place. My Red Sox have lost now 4 in a row after winning on opening day. The Baltimore Orioles, a winner a little bit earlier. There still is quite a few winless teams in baseball outside of the Braves. You have the Twins 0-4. You have the Brewers 0-4. I think you only have one undefeated team left. That's LA at 5-0. The Tigers haven't won a game. They're 0-3. The Padres and Cardinals are both undefeated. So there you go.
Did you see the Marlins?
A win, 3-1 so far?
Yeah,
this year?
I think all 3 wins have been from 3 walk-offs.
Okay. Good enough.
And every game has been within 1 run when they played the Pirates over the weekend.
Gators will take on the Tigers. That'll be Saturday night at 6:09. Florida right now somewhere in the neighborhood of a 2.5 to 3 point favorite, depending on where you shop. The total's 160.5. Again, they'll play in San Antonio. That'll be at 6:09 on Saturday. That'll be followed up by Houston and Duke. So we have all 4 number 1 seeds. Duke favored by 5.5 points. Total there is 136 and a hook. That'll be the nightcap scheduled for 8:49 coming up on Saturday night from San Antonio. And then we'll get down to the finale, which will be played, as we know, on Monday night, April 7th. So we are down to 3 basketball games remaining, and it's been chock-filled. Absolutely no doubt. I got 3 of the 4 in the final. I think most of you out there probably in a very similar situation. I did take Michigan State to knock off Auburn. But I did have Florida, Houston, and Duke all advancing. Florida and Duke to play for the national championship.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
All right, double billing for you tonight. You were on this afternoon. You getting ready for your own show coming up right now.
Yeah. Busy day, busy week, and busy things to react to as far as Florida. What a great comeback. We had the NFL owners meeting. So Should be a fun Monday night here on Hacker After Dark.
Yeah. NFL's owners meetings talking about, well, we hit that earlier with you, me, and Hayes about 10 games internationally played. Do you care either way with the tush push? Does that bother you? Are you one of those that stop it, or do you think it's kind of, psychotic football, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to stop it, then legitimately stop it. The Jaguars actually stopped it
I know they
a
did,
couple of times.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, because Philadelphia does it better than everybody else. That's why they want it banned. So why didn't they get rid of the air raid with Jim Kelly and the Bills in the early 90s? Why didn't they get rid of things the Greatest Show on Turf were doing in the late 90s? I don't know. I think if Philadelphia does it better than anybody, stop it. And they can't stop it, so now they want it banned. So, yeah, if I was an Eagles media member, Eagles fan, I would be pretty upset with the notion that just because we're better at it than you, they want it banned.
They don't even call it that. They call it the brotherly shove.
Yeah, the brotherly shove.
I believe there in Philadelphia.
Well, when Jalen Hurts squats like 600 pounds or whatever he does, he's like the strongest quarterback in the league.
All right, what's coming up tonight?
Yeah, obviously we're going to talk a lot about Florida and what a miraculous comeback Saturday night. Graham Hall, 24/7 Sports, Swamp 247 was in San Francisco for the game. He's actually traveling to San Antonio later in the week. He'll stop by. Also, Jamal St. Cyr of Channel 4 was at the NFL owners meetings this morning. Actually was seating right next to Liam Cohen as he was holding court this morning. So we'll have Jamal on to talk all about that coming up here in just a bit.
All right. That's Hacker Nation. You got him from 4 to 6, and now you get him coming up right now here at 8 o'clock. Have a fun show.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. Thank you to the coach, Dave Campo. Appreciate him joining us. Been a little while since I talked with Dave on air. Really enjoyed his thoughts tonight on the Jaguars. Producer is Dylan Denmark. We're back tomorrow. We'll have more from the NFL's owners meetings, no doubt about that. And who knows what Tuesday will bring us. My name is Rick Ballou. I'll talk with you at 6. Then, have a great night.